Happy July, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Next month, we will have Life is Strange 2 Episode 4. So, videos will be very consistent, especially when we get some more news in regards to Episode 4, potentially the title, which we should be getting in a couple weeks. In today's Life is Strange 2 video, guys, I'm going to be discussing potential returning characters in Life is Strange 2 Episode 4. It is very likely, I believe this episode will have 1 or 2 returning characters. Whether that is someone we've already ran into Life is Strange 2, or it could even be someone from Life is Strange 1, potentially. I want you guys to leave your list down below, 1 or 2 characters of who you think could return in Life is Strange 2 Episode 4, and whether you think we will get one. But I guarantee you there will be a returning character in the Episode 4 or 5. Alright guys, let's go for 500 likes on this video if you guys enjoyed, and subscribe if you want to see more Life is Strange 2 content. Let's get straight into it.
Speaking of weed, I got that covered tonight. What else do we need? Eric said his parents don't leave shit at the cabin, so we better make an official party list.
Hey, whoa, what the hell are you doing?
Don't move!
So the first character I'm going to be discussing for a potential return in Episode 4 is Lila. She was only in Episode 1, but we could call her in Episode 1 or 2, but we could not contact her in Episode 3. So with us being in likely Nevada in Episode 4, it is highly unlikely we are going to see her physically. I think another potential call could happen. Now that it's been confirmed that Cassidy and Finn are the main romances, now Sean and Lila's relationship can be seen more as a friendship kind of thing, even though people kind of want they want them to be a thing. They're not. But I do believe there is a 6 out of, I'll say if you give me a 1 to 10 chance that there's going to be a call in Episode 4, I'll give you a 6 out of 10. I think it's more likely than not since there wasn't something in Episode 3. But my guess is that we're going to get another opportunity to call her in Episode 4, and it's going to be up to the player whether to make that call or not, because he had that option in Episode 2, and I believe that's going to happen again in Episode 4. Some way to contact her. If I had to bet money on it right now, I do believe a call is going to happen in Episode 4. Let's move on to our next character.
Hey, listen. I know what happened with you guys in Seattle. Do you want to talk about it? I'm a good listener. It's your call, no pressure.
The next character I'm going to be discussing is Brody from Episode 1. We've kept up with his blog a little bit in Episode 2. Not really that much difference in Episode 3. Since he is a wanderer, I do think there is an opportunity we could run into him in Episode 4. Now, if there is a chance we see a character physically in Episode 4, I believe that character is going to be Brody. I just have some feeling that Brody will show up again. There's no reason they'd have this entire sequence with him in Episode 1 and have him not return again in some form. Maybe we see him like on TV. Maybe we get the opportunity, just like I mentioned with Lila. We can maybe call him. I think it's possible. I think Brody, if I had to give you a chance out of 10, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I think if Brody doesn't pop up in Episode 4, I'm going to put it near 10 out of 10 for Episode 5, because there's definitely going to be some importance to Brody in Episode 5. But let me know what you guys think of Brody's potential return down below in the comments. Let's move on to our next character.
Tolerate shoplifters.
Sir, we paid for this. And the map was free.
Well, let's go inside. You can show us what you bought.
No, thanks.
Our next character is a very interesting one from Episode 1. If you remember the gas station owner, his name was Hank Stamper. Now, depending on our actions in Episode 1, we could find a newspaper that basically depicted him as either a hero if Sean had attacked him, or if we had fled, basically more about information about Sean. Now, there is a potentiality that, according to what I've been hearing, there's been rumors, sources, there is a likely chance that Hank is going to show up in one of the final 2 episodes in some shape or form. Whether that is if there's some major trial at the end of Episode 5, or where, Sean and Daniel get put to trial for the murder of the police officer, or maybe that somehow in some random circumstance, we get back to Seattle in episode 5, and he pops up. I don't think he's going to be in episode 4. I'd give it like a 2 out of 10. I think he will be in episode 5, though, in some capacity. Alright, next character.
Smart.
I
You're
didn't-
a real dumbass for getting a kid involved.
I wasn't the one who did
And you're
this!
teaching him how to steal? Thief and brother of the year.
I said no!
Nice.
I said
But
no!
now, you all really fucked up. I can't just let this slide.
No! The next character I'm discussing is Meryl from episode 3. He's very interesting because of a lot can happen to him. He can get shot with a gun, he can get thrown across the room by Daniel, plant lands on his head. I mean, people don't really know if he's alive or dead depending on decisions. Now, he wasn't stated as dead, so I personally think he is alive. And I think the only way we're going to run into him in episode 4 is if it's in the beginning of the episode, like in this area of the house, Meryl's little base setup house. Because we know Sean leaves this and goes to Nevada, so maybe we'll deal with him at the beginning of the episode, or maybe we'll just leave him for stranded. And we'll run into him sometime, maybe near the end of episode 4, maybe he comes after us, or maybe in episode 5, if there's some kind of like trial thing, maybe he pops up at that. Who knows? There's a lot of possibilities depending on circumstance. Big Joe can also be thrown in with Meryl. I mean, potentially he can pop up with Meryl depending on decisions, and he could potentially get injured as well. So we don't know really if they're going to be a major importance into episode 4, but they got a possibility. Now, this one is a very, very unlikely one, since it's already been kind of mentioned by some of the heads of Life is Strange that the Life is Strange one was the end of Max and Chloe's story. Now, personally, I do think there is a chance, though, because it's in the same universe. Arcadia Bay and all this. Max being non-determinate character, having powers, maybe she'll be connected somehow with this game's ending, but really they've kind of hinted that Life is Strange 1 was the end of their story, but they never really denied saying that they won't be in this game. So there's a chance. I'm going to give you like a 1 out of 10, but this would be such a major wow moment if they ended up bringing her in for something. I don't know what it would be. I don't know if it'd be like, you know, kind of like just something in the paper, or maybe a cameo appearance, or maybe even an Easter egg or something. I just think there's some chance of it happening. A Life is Strange 1 character popping up. Most of them in Arcadia Bay are determinants, so you really can't have a lot of ones from there, but Max is possible. Alright, let's find our next character. So our last character I'm going to discuss in this video is Karen Reynolds, Sean and Daniel's mother. I just made a video about her about last week, talking about her potential return and why I think it is very possible. I do believe her chance of returning in episode 4 at the end is very likely. Out of all the characters I mentioned, I'm going to give her the highest chance. I'm giving her an 8 out of 10. If she ain't going to be in episode 4, she's definitely going to be in episode 5. Some of the achievement names even hint a return of her. One of them is called She-Wolf, for example. So, Mother, the Wolves, Sean and Daniel, Karen, religious group, Jacob, Nevada, Reverend. By the picture of Karen Reynolds, she looks religious. So I think every kind of sign points to her potentially popping up in episode 4. I mean, if she's only going to be in episode 4, she darn as well going to be in episode 5. I can guarantee you that. But there's been too much hinting with her, especially what Daniel was mentioning in episode 3 about how he wants to see her so badly, that I think they have to have her return in episode 4 or even episode 5. If there are any characters I may have forgotten, again, I'm not mentioning Cassidy, Finn, the rest of the group that, I think they're likely to return, but they're not really, like I said, they were just in episode 3, so there's not really any point in mentioning them. If there are any characters from Life is Strange 1 or earlier in Life is Strange 2 that you guys think could return, leave them down below in the comments. I'd love to see you guys' suggestions. And make sure to vote down below for our next video, guys. And make sure you smack a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. and I will catch y'all for our next Life is Strange 2 video in the future. Remember, guys, closing in on 60 days away. Peace.